So I want to start by telling you why heat map tracking is important to you. And it's basically because we can spy legally on our visitors to our site. And the reason why that's important is because we put up a web page or a sales page or whatever it is, and we think that people will understand it in a particular way and that they will engage and relate to it in a particular way. And then we can look at conventional stats, you know, something like from Google Analytics or whatever other kind of link tracking you've got, and we can see some things like how long they were on the page and the fact that they left or that they clicked on a particular link to go somewhere else if it worked well, but we don't know why either of those things happened. We don't know what it took to make those things happen. We don't know if they're stuck in a particular point, or if they hit something that actually repels them pretty quickly. We just don't know what's going on. And let me just take the sales page for this product itself. This is a kind of a TARDIS moment, because I'm going to update this video that I'm making now and stick it in this slot here. But basically this is the sales page here, so I'm imagining that people will read this headline and watch the video, and then they will scroll down and see all of these things, and I'm assuming that they're going to be interested in these pictures, and there's going to be another video here that they can replay, and I'm assuming that they will replay that video, and then I'm assuming that they will read these points. But I don't know if any of them will be a problem for them, if they won't understand them, or if they will resonate with them, because I can't actually see what they're seeing. Well, not normally, but with heat map tracking, of course we can. So as they go through the page, we'll see if indeed they do scroll, if they actually look at the particular packages, and which particular package that they click on in the end, or whether they need to go back and get some other piece of information, and which piece of information is that, because that's going to be pertinent. Maybe they're looking for they scroll to the end and they're not seeing the price quickly enough, or something like that. So we just don't know what's in their mind unless we can actually see what's going on. And that's exactly what heat map tracking does. So normally in your account, in your dashboard, you have a number of projects, and each instantly with each project you can see what you've had for the day, and you've got your tracking code that you can insert there, and then you just go in to edit that particular package. Let me just show you the account that I wanted to show you, which is down here somewhere. There we go. So I'm just going to that dashboard for that project. So instantly I can get see what's going on today in just text. I've got my embed code there, and I can see graphically what's going on, and I've got the location geomapping location going on there as well, so I can see that this one visit that I've had today is from the UK, which is, strange enough, is actually me. But all the other countries are there, and there's more hits coming in. They'll grow and grow and grow. So this is just like a test blog. I've only just put it on here for the moment, but normally you would see your overview of what's going on. Now other things happen here. If you want to see a particular session, this actual kind of mind reading part, then they come under this menu here called menu sessions. Now here you can see all the different sessions that different people have used to browse the site, and here we can see the time that they spent on each of them. So this was basically a bounce, because they were on there for 1 second and then they left, and then there was nothing left to track. Okay, we've got other information here that we can see, their IP, where they're from, what operating system they had and what browser they're using, and that kind of thing. But the real magic obviously comes when we actually go in to preview this particular session from this particular user. Okay, so this is basically the video movie replay, if you like. So for the screen cam, I've had to reduce the size of my screen, so the person who browsed this site was actually looking at more than I can see right at this moment, but to fit it in the screen cam I've got to shrink it down to show you. Anyway, we can see that they basically landed here, and we can see these are basically key points in what they've done, and this is how long they spent on the site, and this was actually their screen resolution over here. If they visited multiple pages, they would appear in this list as well, and it will automatically play from one to the other. So let's just see what this user did and what it what it means to us. So they started with the headline, and then they scroll down, and they're seeing the first bit that interests them. Okay, so we can deduce from that, and they clicked, or sorry, the mouse is here, and we can see that they scroll down to see the prices. Okay, and they get to the bottom of the page, and they're looking for something else, and then they're probably going to go maybe back to the top. Let's see. Yeah, so they've gone back to the pricing. Okay, then this is real time. We can actually slow it down. There isn't a speed up option at the moment. I think that'll be added. But this is actually the time that they're doing it. So the fact that they're on this page for this long, they're reading it, and they're probably reading this page, this section of the page over here, because that's the longer, the longer bit. And if they were, there's the mouse. So this is where their, kind of eye or hand is resting. So they are reading this part of the screen here. We'll just see what else they're going to do. Obviously they're taking this in. Okay, now they want to check something else out. Now what is it that they're checking out here now? So they're going back to work out the key benefit of the product with the headline. They're reading the headline, they're trying to understand it. Are they understanding it? Again, they're on that section for that long. They're looking at some of the pictures, none of them particularly interested them. They've gone down to this bit of the explanation here. The menu got their attention, and they clicked on it, thinking it was maybe a real menu and not a picture. So maybe that's something we need to look at on the design. Okay, and now they're actively kind of reading the text with their mouse and possibly clicking. So now they're looking at the pictures. Okay, so we saw that they were interested in the first two. They're trying to click this one. So let me just pause that moment there. They're trying to click that picture. Now if they're trying to click a picture, what's the reason for that? And the reason for that is probably because that picture was too small for them to read, and they wanted to see the detail of it. So we could go back and we could make that picture clickable so that it opens up in a light box or something, so that they can actually read it. So that's obviously an important part in if there's a it sounds obvious in hindsight, but we put the picture there, and obviously if it's got text on it, people want to be able to read it or to be able to study it properly. So that's something that this has immediately told us, in that they're looking to see what the details of that picture were, and that we could change our web design to open a light box so that they can actually see. Okay, now they're studying this picture here. They're kind of this is a heat map, so they're kind of making sure it made sense. Basically, they're looking at the different regions in the world that they can that it's tracking, and they're looking for this video. Now they're trying to click because they're expecting the video to play, and the video is not playing there. And there's a reason for that. It's because it's not actually in there yet. But obviously, again, they're looking for the video to do that. So now they're reading this section, and also notice how they've gone from sort of like top to bottom to top to middle kind of thing. So they're not reading it in the order that we created it. They're reading it in the order that interests them. Okay, so they're looking at these points, they're reading them, they're understanding them. The ones that they're, so number 6 is gelling with them a lot, because they're staying on it longer, and 7 was okay, and 8 and 9, we're doing something. It's going slightly off the screen there because of the screen cam size. And look to that menu is interesting them, but they're thinking it's a menu because they keep clicking it. So they're expecting something to happen there. So we need to look at that graphic, and whatever it is that they're trying to work out what that graphic means, we need to make sure that it's in there and a lot more obvious. So obviously again, with their reading the text with the mouse here again, something that a lot of people do, not everyone does it, but some people do it, but we can certainly predict that wherever their mouse is probably where their eyes are following, or very near to where they're following. So this phrase here is obviously resonating with them. Work harder, not smarter. Work smarter, not harder. And this person is apparently interested in the agency package, which is a sort of thing where they can sell this themselves, if you like, to their own clients. So it's great for offline consultants and web designers and that sort of thing. So now they're back to the package. Obviously they're trying to work out which package they need. So this is going to potentially a problem here, because we've got 5 different options, and it may not be obvious to them which one is the one that they actually want. They need to be able to decide quickly. Now they clicked on that web designer one. Maybe they're expecting more information about it. At the moment I don't quite know what else they're wanting to know about that particular package. But obviously it's definitely interesting them, and they did pause on that business point about that as well. So it wasn't a business point, about the offline consultancy package where they could sell it, and here they are again looking at that particular price model, and they're obviously reading this text. They're obviously digesting that. They're trying to make sure that it fits in with what they want. This little orange copy is obviously interested in them. They're checking the specs of what's going on, what they actually get in the package. They're looking at probably number 35 and thinking it's 35 and a half. They're looking at the unlimited lines. They know that there's going to be no miscellaneous charges. And now they're just double checking probably what else, probably making sure they definitely got the right package. They're looking at this other package as an option, so now they're torn between 2 packages. Now that's a cheaper one, and they're hovering over the price, so that's obviously the price was a consideration for them, and they've actually clicked on that link, and it's being very slow to load, so I need to look at the site performance about that. But they did click that buy link, and they exited that session because that page would have opened in a new buy button page, like a cart page, which doesn't have the tracking code on it. So I should probably put the tracking code on the on the buy buttons as well. Anyway, but you can see that by actually seeing it through the eyes of the person, what they were doing, how they got there. We saw they weren't doing an order. They were clicking things that they wanted more information on, which we can sort out. They were reading bits that particularly interested them, so maybe that needs more detail. Choosing the package was obviously a bit of a quandary, because there's anytime you give some people options, they panic because they have to decide. But in the end, this person did go for the the starter package, and they did go off to go and buy it. So we can see that the sales page worked to that extent. Now, without the heat map tracking, what would we know? We know that the person came to the page, they spent 4 or 5 minutes on it, and they did an exit link to this package. That's all we'd know. We wouldn't know that they were looking at the web designer package where they can do it themselves. We wouldn't know that they weren't getting all the information they needed from clicking the graphics and trying to watch the videos. We wouldn't know which key parts of the copy, which parts of the message were resonating with them. Okay, so hopefully you can see how that's starting to make sense and give us an insight into how these people are thinking. Right, now there are other sessions which are very short, so they were bounces, so that's not going to help us. But obviously either they're the wrong they're the wrong people or in the wrong place, or whatever they landed on, which is the click tracking page, was not what they wanted or didn't meet their requirements. The longer sessions, over 30 seconds, whatever, they're obviously, something on those pages interested them. Okay. Now these are individual sessions. Obviously, you're going to sample some of them to get the feel for what's going on. But generally, what did people do? How can we get a quick bird's eye overview of generally what people want? Well, that's where the heat map comes in. There are different things that we can do. We can check for page scrolling, for clicks, and for actual eye tracking. Now, it isn't actually eye tracking because it's not an optical device connected on a helmet to their head, but it's basically mouse tracking. And as you saw in that video, people tend to move the mouse as they explain things, like I'm doing here. I'm saying here's the eye tracking button, and I'm moving the mouse to get it. You can look over particular time ranges. You can set the time range as well. When you've written a minute, you can do a different option there, and you can select the page that you want to actually look at. So I'm not actually into that page. This is the sales page. It's actually the home page of the entire site, and I can just click the generate blog, generate map, and this is the heat map of basically all the visitors in that time range. Okay, and this overlays the original page. So we can see that basically, some people were looking here, but generally they were concentrating over here. This bit of blank space obviously, wasn't exciting them, so they were looking up here. So that probably indicates that they're looking at this headline here. We can see that they did read these pictures here. Now, any of the pictures in particular interested them? Right. So this one with the heat map on it, that's the one that was the most interesting. The one that was probably the least interesting actually was this one, which was the just the front page. It probably out of context. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and maybe we're not emphasising or we're not demonstrating the over-the-shoulder view that pictures were supposed to. These other pictures are interesting them. Okay, they were looking at the map, but mainly it's this graphic with the heat map, which is exactly what I'm showing you now, is the one that interested them the most. So they hung around a lot in this area to watch the video. The video wasn't actually there at that time, but never mind. And they did look at these business points, but we can see that number 1 and number 6 were the most interesting ones to them. Okay, but all of them had a relevance. Okay, they didn't skip past them, completely. This headline attracted people a lot. People did look at this left-hand section. People did look at this graphic. Somebody clicked, or there's some clicking going on here. I think that's a click. On that particular one, so they were trying to see more heat maps, I guess. They were reading this copy, but not especially. This bit about the agency version did seem to interest a lot of people, more people than the sections above. So whatever this copy's about, they weren't really that excited by it, but this bit here about the package did excite them. And here are the pricing boxes. Now, I mean, they're fairly even, but we can kind of see that this one, which is actually the agency package, the web designer package, it was the one that caused the most interest. Okay, but there's might be more clicking going on here, and they did even get to the bottom. Okay, obviously in this bit here, very little going on because there's no content there. They just came down here to see if there's anything else down there that they needed to look. Now we don't know what order this was in. Maybe like the replay we watched a minute ago, maybe they were scrolling up and down and searching for the bit that they wanted. We can't see that in the heat map, but in the heat map we can see the key points, and basically the top of the page, above the fold is obviously getting a lot of attention. The headline was apparently working. We know which of the pictures interested them the most. We know which of the business points interested them the most. Number 1 and number 6. Although they're all fairly good. We know that they did look here. This graphic's obviously confusing a lot of people, because it's not looking like a graphic, it's looking like a part of the page, I guess. And we know that this middle bit of the copy is pretty weak, but this one about the agency package is pretty strong, and we know which package is kind of the most popular. Okay, obviously we'd more interested in confirming that in actual sales, but we can see that people were considering this one the most. If they were considering it the most and it wasn't selling the most, then there must be something wrong with either the actual offer itself, the specifications of it, or the way it's described. Maybe it's not clear enough. Okay, if it correlates well, then we know that that's the most popular offer. Maybe we could make it more front and center, and make the other options smaller so it's less confusing, because that's the one people want. Okay, so again, if we'd only had sort of link tracking on it, all we know is that people generally came to the page, generally spent whatever average time is, and generally went away or went to a link if we were following the exit links. We wouldn't know any of this other stuff that I've just mentioned about the actual content of the of this sales page. Okay, and that's the the beauty of this package. Now the other thing we can do is we can see the most popular page on the site. It shows us the top 50 pages. We can see that basically at the moment it's only this home page that's getting the action. Nobody's really going to these other pages at the moment. We can click through to them if we want to. We can see the aggregate time spent on each of the pages as well, so we know what our most popular pages are, and that people aren't going to these other links very much at all. Okay, so that's basically it. I mean, it's a very simple package to use. You've got your immediate stats here. You've got your geolocation. You can see your trends over the month, over the days, and then you can drill in to either the specific user sessions. We can actually see exactly what that person did in the session, or you can get more of a trend picture with one of the versions of the heat map. If you're not sure if people are scrolling down the page, you can do that. If you're not sure where people are clicking, which links they're clicking on, then you can do that report specifically. The eye tracking one is the one I tend to look at the most personally, but that's just me. Okay, so that's basically it. So by the miracle of time travel, I'm going to put the video that we've just made into this space now. So that's why this version of the page doesn't have it in, because we're creating it now, and it will go in here, and you can see basically the way this page has performed so far, and what its highs and lows are. And without the heat tracking plugin, we wouldn't be able to to know this at all. And we're actually getting some good insights into what is interesting and what is not interesting to people when they look at this heat map tracking software. So there we go. When you're ready to get your own copy, this is the page you're going to go to, and these are your packages that are available to you at the moment. As was mentioned down here, if you actually want something a little different, then just get in touch, and we can do a custom package for you as well. Okay, the only one that we offer by default as a kind of a white label version is the web designer package. So basically you can put your own name and logo on this, whereas the other ones are really meant for your own use, and as you're the only one who's going to be logging in to see it. It doesn't need to be white label. This one's specifically meant for people who want to resell exactly what this is under their own brand and set their own pricing. Alright, see you then. Bye for now.